friends. Some of you may be familiar with this bike, others maybe not so much. So a quick TLDR just to get you up to speed. Back in December, I had put on a build off with the subscribers of this channel that went until April. I built this bike, which I called the Trasher Bash Motivator Build, in conjunction with the other builders on the channel. And I painted this bike with Montana graffiti spray paint as recommended by a viewer in a video that I did where I used Spindatt bike. And I was like, oof, Spindatt bike works pretty good, but it's really expensive. Montana paint is like, it's a third of the cost. Someone said it's almost, if anything, it is exactly the same as Spindatt bike for a third of the cost. I said, why not? Let's give it a try. And it has now been painted, built, and ridden for, I think, like 4-5 months or so now. So I thought it'd be fun to like look at how the paint is holding up, because I did have a few people be like, this paint isn't strong enough to actually hold up to, you know, every time I ride this bike, I'm on this kind of material. And I kind of specifically chose this location, we call it the Spindatt Pit Climb Challenge location, just to really show what it is that this paint job has at least experienced one time per ride in the last 4-ish months. I don't want to just keep beating you to death with information, but I think it's worth talking about the process that I went through in painting this. I took it completely down to bare aluminum, and then I acid etch primered it, and then I did the Montana paint, and then did 2 cans worth of 2K clear coat. And then I wet sanded, buffed, polished, and waxed the entire frame. So, I think we can all agree that our areas of interest for damage over time is going to be 2 main areas. Down tube, beneath the down tube, that's this spot. And, because this is not a clutch derailleur, even if it was, the chainstay itself. So that is kind of where I'm going to focus most of my attention. That is where I'm going to inspect the most. But we'll look over the whole thing and see if any paint has chipped off, worn away, any of that stuff. You'd be hard pressed to find any damage in there for a chain that's been... There is a little spot here that went down to primer, it looks like, but the primer didn't come off. That's pretty good. That's better than what I would have expected from what it was that people warned me about. But again, there's a lot more done to this than just Montana paint. There's the acid etch primer, there's the base coat, and then there's the absurd amount of clear coat on top of it. So essentially this actually probably should be a review of the Napa 2K clear coat that I used, but anyway, whatever. Down tube. So we're looking for chip paint, peeling clear coat. As you can see, I actually burnt through the clear coat in a couple spots here. That is my fault. Let's look at the fork a little bit. I don't know. And here's kind of where maybe problems would happen, but even still, like no chipped paint. Oh, here's a bunch of chipped paint. Oh wow, look at all that. I don't know what that's from. This is the non-drive side chainstay. There's quite a bit of little marring up here. But I actually think I know where that kind of damage has happened, or where it came from at least. And it's this bike, like this bike not being ridden sometimes and being pushed aside. You set it away and then you start piling bikes on top of it, and the sharp pins on pedals getting and digging themselves into the paint, chipping away at it. Funny, I don't think any damage has necessarily or really occurred from any riding, and all of the damage looks to be, or you know, I suspect to be, all just storage, bikes knocking each other around type nicks and scratches. And for the price and the outcome that I got, definitely, I would 100% use Montana again for bike paint. The price is just so right. I'm gonna do one last test, and that is physically simulating a rock strike on the down tube of a frame, because I don't think I got any today, and I want to see how strong the paint really is. So the goal here isn't to smash the frame, it's just to like do that. And I'm not going to do it again because it chipped the paint twice. That's a new paint chip, and that's a new paint chip. Montana Gold paint for your bike is fine. Don't actually throw rocks at it.